Alright, so after the gathering, I'm gonna come out and go to the left and pick up that Eve hypo. I don't use much Eve in this level, but this is one of the times I did for telekinesis, throwing the barrels. Speaking of which, grab this barrel. There's gonna be a splicer who comes out to your left from right there. There's also an audio diary right there. This is one video where I actually considered speeding it up and making it double time. There's another Eve hypo I won't be taking. There's not a whole lot going on. There's a lot of collecting. There's a couple of splicers in the way. But the video software I use, as far as my skill and experience, I don't know how to speed up portions of the video. And I don't know how to merge videos of different speeds together. It wouldn't do it, so I just left it. Plenty of things I can find to talk about though. Again, I don't even use the shock on that one. Some I do shock, but mostly it's just the double tap like I said. There's a couple points in this video where I do a little cut job. I don't know if you'll catch where they are. What happened is I end up running back, to pick up like a few extra dollars that I forget. And then in another place, I end up running around, just making sure I didn't miss anything. I cut those parts out because I thought it was long enough as it is. This guy doesn't even see it coming. You do get trap rivets right there. So even if you don't get trap rivets out of the hacked vending machine back at the gathering, you can use, that's probably 3 right there. And you'll end up with the same, still filled out like I am here. I believe at this point, I'm actually maxed out in wallet. At this stage of the game, it tops out at $600. That does increase as time goes on. I believe it goes up to $800 by the end. So I can't actually use any of this money. And I believe I do make a run back to pick this up after I buy some ammo. I don't show that part, like I said. I don't need to be adding another 2 minutes of just random running around for a couple bucks. I do use this Eve hypo. Again, I just shock randomly to fill up. At this point, I've left behind 3 or 4 hypos. It's getting fairly excessive. So that just gives you an idea of how much you can actually use if you want to be heavier on the plasmids. I bring this one down. My thinking is that if I do need it, it'll be easier to run back and get. I don't need it. I don't come back for it. But that's why I did that. Here, I'm running around like an idiot. I'm trying to get back to the vending machine so I can unload some of this cash and get some ammo. As we walk, you can kind of see all these crappy, run-down, animated Andrew Ryan displays. It's basically just spouting propaganda, trying to scare people that the surface is bad and that they should stay in Rapture. Alright, so here I believe I buy some 50 caliber rounds, some anti-personnel rounds. If you want to be technically even more efficient, if you're playing the way I am, you don't even need as many 50 caliber rounds as I buy, because towards later in the level I'm actually going to be maxed out on them and have to leave some behind, so you can save a little bit of money. I don't come out of this level maxed out on money. It's really close, but not quite. If you want to be more of a perfectionist, don't buy quite as many of the regular 50 caliber rounds as I do right there. Not a big deal though, you don't have to do it this perfect. Up here I'm actually gonna make one of those cuts I was talking about. Picking up this money over here reminded me to go back for the other couple bucks on the balcony. So that's what that jump was. I was working with compressed videos. It didn't cut as perfectly as it told me it was going to. That's why it was kind of sloppy. Up here there's going to be two splicers. Bioshock and headshot. The other guy runs down these stairs to the right and stands in the water and down there in the sewer, so I just shocked the water. But you know, that's in that occasion, that's one of the funnest ways to take him out when they're standing in water. Worth the Eve, in my opinion. We're basically hacking the vending machines just for a chance at something good. Basically just like a lottery. Most of the time it's something you can't even use. Occasionally it's something good. I get a lot of Eve hypos from some of the vending machines in this level. I don't actually use any of them because, you know, I consider that kind of relying on luck for a major resource, so I typically don't use the Eve hypos that drop out of vending machines for free. I find a more repeatable strategy, even if that means, you know, just leaving it on the ground. Right there you can see the silhouette with the little sister sitting on your shoulders. I thought that was really cool because you don't get to see her on your shoulders, obviously, since you see through the Big Daddy's perspective. So I just thought that was a cool image to see. So we're going to be dropping off the little sister in her vent, which is technically called the hidey hole, which we find out later. And that's what we're going to do continued in the next video.